Thanks very much for the invite here. I'm really excited. I'm going to be doing my special needs workshop later on, so I'm really excited to be up in this part of the country delivering that. I suppose just to give you a little bit of a brief background on my situation. I got into this whole area from my niece Laura. My niece Laura was born with Down syndrome, and my brother, due to my kind of professional qualification, asked me, can you help and do some kind of financial planning, because he said he was having a lot of issues. And I thought, fantastic, as an uncle you think, great, I can help. But I didn't realise the complexity of the whole area and the issues he was having and the issues that other families were having out there. So after about 5 or 6 months of trying to put the first plan together for him, I then felt I really could make a difference in this whole area. So I set up Financial Wellbeing back in 2008, and it's a company dedicated to special needs trust planning. Now I suppose my expertise is very much in setting up special needs trusts for parents so that their children can have a better quality of life in the future. Now I also present on a radio show, I think at this stage about 38 different charities, organisations I write for each month, and I've also, I say at this stage done over 150 different workshops around the country, so we're really going around, and it's really gone from strength to strength, and I've lectured as well in UCC in this whole area, so it's great to be involved in this area, and it's great to be getting the message out there, because I think very much parents aren't aware of what's out there and what's the situation and what they can do to help in this whole area. As I said, there's 3 of us actually work in this whole area. My business partner is Dolores Crowley, and Dolores is a mum. She brings a lot of that kind of experience and expertise into this whole situation. And in 2014, her son David joined the company. And David, for those who wouldn't know, David would have a lot of things going on. He obviously had cerebral palsy. He'd have an intellectual disability, he'd be a wheelchair user. But I suppose what I spotted actually was he has a lot of abilities. And it's fantastic having him involved in the company. Now, he writes an article every month about his perspective, and what he sees in life. And he does help out the different workshops and all that. So it's fantastic having somebody like that involved in the company. It's far more enjoyable as well. And it makes everything so much more real as well when we're out there helping parents. Now, why am I here? I suppose what I'm here and what I'm going around the country doing is trying to advocate for children with additional needs, in the sense that what I think has to happen is that they have to inherit more money than other siblings. And so we very much go against the grain of what professional advice is out there at the moment. Professional advice is very much, they don't need much, they'll be alright. A lot of parents are often being told, sure, why don't you give it to the other siblings, sure, won't they look after them? And unfortunately then, as I come across kind of sad cases and situations that have turned into disasters, and I suppose that's what's really kind of motivating myself and Dolores to go around and say, it doesn't go that way, you shouldn't do that. And I'll just tell a brief story there. I'll call him John, which is not his real name. But John has Down syndrome, he's 48, he's in residential care, and he was actually quite happy up till a couple of years back when the residential provider, due to the cutbacks to them, they turned around and said, look, we're going to have to cut your hobbies, which was his swimming, and they also cut art. They were the 2 things he loved to do. And they also then introduced the whole long stay charge. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but basically what it meant for him, he was getting 188 a week out of his disability allowance, and 150 now is going towards the HSE for a long stay charge. So his life kind of imploded. He went on medication. He was never on medication before that side of it. And this is then why we're going out and saying, it doesn't have to be that way. It's not meant to be that way. And if anything, what's really frustrating in that situation, there was a farm, and he was disinherited from the farm, this kind of thing. And again, 5,000-10,000 could have made a world of a difference to his quality of life. So I suppose we're out there saying, if anything, what has to happen is that children with additional needs should get extra money, And when we say that, our rationale behind that whole area is because other siblings will earn income, they'll produce their own quality of life, they'll determine that themselves. And very much people with additional needs have a restricted ability to earn income, or sometimes they have no ability to earn income, and they are very reliant on what their parents pass to them. But of course, it's not that simple, is it? And certainly the government have placed a number of kind of barriers and things in your way. And again, this is what I'll be discussing far more in the workshop. Some of the issues, obviously, as you'll be very much aware from today's talks, is from 16 onwards, people with disabilities are means tested. meaning that, like the Department of Social Protection, to get any basic entitlements, they'll have to produce financial statements. And what the Department of Social Protection are trying to do is see, have this person got money in their name, have they inherited any money from grandparents or from parents? Because if they have, and if they're over the thresholds that are set out by the Department of Social Protection, it stops everything. It might reduce it, or in most cases it will actually stop all those kind of payments, and again affecting medical cards and everything else as well, connecting with it. But there are solutions. There's a simple solution out there. There's a legal way that parents can avoid all these issues coming down the road, and that's simply by setting up a special needs trust. And that is just a way for parents to pass on any assets, any money they have to their child, and their child maintains their full entitlements. And the beauty about it all is that not only do they maintain their full entitlements, but they'll benefit from everything the parent has left them. So then again, that trust can pay for the child's, accommodation, heating, travel, holidays, taxis, whatever that child wants, that trust can pay out for them and benefit their quality of life. So I suppose that's what the core of the workshop I'll be delivering later will be around, how to provide for your child when you're no longer around. So we'll be touching on different things like rarely claimed tax side of things or entitlements. For instance, a lot of parents wouldn't be claiming VAT back, and a lot of parents I would sit down with would be having to purchase iPads, computers, speech apps, all these kind of things, which are things that you can claim back legitimately through the VAT side of it. So again, I'll be going to all these kind of rarely claimed things that are not being claimed enough, as I would say. I'll also then be talking about issues in the banking side of things. Of course, people with intellectual disabilities run into a lot of problems later in life with banking facilities, and again, we have an easy solution for parents there on that side of it. I'll also be talking to the parents as well and saying, look, you will have an awful lot of information, but the hard, or we say the kind of sad part of it all, it's all in your heads. And again, it's about imparting that information down, and again, through a letter of wishes, it will be shown that if you can get this information down, certainly you can pass it on, because as you will know, there's certain things that your child likes or dislikes, or there's certain aspirations you have for their future, where again, it's in your head. So again, it's very much about putting this down, and then it's about choosing the right guardians, trustees. And this is probably a huge stumbling block for parents out there. It's a huge stumbling block because they're obviously trying to plan for 30 years down the road. And I always say to parents, we just do it in blocks of 5 years. Just think of who in the next 5 years. And of course, then we change all that as time goes by, because obviously it's a whole time process and a line going down. So these are the kind of areas that I'll be talking about. I suppose the main area as well that I'll be talking about is how you can fund a trust. How you can fund a trust out of entitlements by putting a little bit of domiciliary or a little bit of disability away on a regular basis without impacting their entitlements, without impacting your own access to entitlements if you have carers allowance or anything on that side of it, and how it can all be done and end up with a trust set up which will have a lump sum of money in there that can actually make a difference to the quality of life of your child. So that's me. Yes, thank God I have a Cork accent, I could talk fast. Hope to see lots of you later, and thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.